Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Gokula Nanda, Radha Gokula Nanda, Radha Gokula Nanda, Shri Radhe. Jaya Sita Ram Lakshman Hanumana, Jaya Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman. Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. So, older generation, I want to go slow and kids want to go fast. So they are like, come on, slow coach. Thank you so much everyone for coming today. So today we'll be discussing a verse from chapter 15. We'll do prayers first and then we'll make a start. If children can please settle down, it will help me. Thank you. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakham Vitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhano Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Vancha Kalpatarubrascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. Okay. So let's look at Sanskrit first and then we'll look at the purport. So this is chapter 15, verse 17. Uttama purushastvanyan paramatmeti udarata yo lokatrayam avishya bibartavya ishvara. Translation: besides these two, there is greatest living personality, the Supreme Soul, the imperishable Lord Himself, who has entered the three worlds and is maintaining them.
That doesn't help.
Okay, that didn't help. Yeah, so let's look at purport. So, just so I understand, how many of you read Bhagavad Gita? Okay. How many of you have Bhagavad Gita at home? So, what is it doing at home? Okay, so you have kept it as it is. So, this is Bhagavad Gita as it is. So, it is sitting as it is on the shelf. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. So, yeah, it doesn't take much. Like one verse hardly takes half a minute. You can just read. If you are worried about, Sanskrit, don't read Sanskrit. You can just read translation. So, Srila Prabhupada has done a lot of hard work on this, and he has given word-to-word meaning of each and every Sanskrit word. So, we don't need to know Sanskrit. And then there is a translation, and then there is a purport, which explains the verse, what it means. So, it's not very difficult. There was a time when people used to write it down, and then the copy. So, if you want a Bhagavad Gita, you will have to write it down from somebody completely. And then it used to get passed. So we can, for us, we pick up the phone, go on Vedabase, and then, so Vedabase is a website on which Bhagavad Gita is present, so you can access that. So it's so easy. Anywhere, in train, you're waiting for a bus, for a tube, anywhere you can read one verse. It doesn't take much. But don't let that Bhagavad Gita sit as it is. Because if it is sitting there, it's not going to be of any use. So you have to start reading it. Yes. So I give you an idea of what is there in this book, which is sitting on your shelf. So there are 18 chapters in this, and these 18 chapters are divided into 3 parts. So the first part, the first 6 chapters talk about the yoga of success, or we say karma yoga. Yeah, so that is what it deals with, the way we operate in this world. Yeah, how do we conduct ourselves? How the karma works? So it is that part. What is our duty as a living entity? So Krishna covers that part in first 6 chapters. Then the middle 6 chapters is yoga of love, or bhakti yoga, and where Krishna talks about himself. Because it's all about bhakti. It's about how we connect with him, like that. So that's middle 6 chapters. And the last 6 chapters, which is from 13 to 18, is yoga of wisdom, or jnana yoga. So that's where Krishna talks about the material world, how things are, the modes of material nature, how they operate on us, and what is our relation, and how we connect with them, like that. So in this way, the Bhagavad Gita has 3 sections, Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, and Jnana Yoga. So we are in the last section today. So this is 15th chapter, which comes in the last part, Jnana Yoga. So this is about understanding the material world, how it is, understanding Lord, understanding our relationship with him, like that. And this particular verse 17 of 15th chapter. So 15th chapter is called Purushottama Yoga. And so it's about Krishna himself and understanding his Paramatma feature in this chapter. And this particular verse 17, is one of the 3 shloki. So in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 16, 17 and 18, these three verses, 16, 17 and 18, they are called 3 shloki Gita. which means Gita in 3 shlok. So the essence of Vedanta Sutra. So, okay, I'm just thinking how detailed should I go. Okay, so our scriptures, the Vedic scriptures, yeah, there are two sets of Vedic scriptures. One is called Shruti. So Shruti is that which was heard. Yeah, how was it heard? So when the sages or the saints, they went into deep meditative state, they heard this knowledge, and when they heard that, they wrote it down. So it is not man-made, it is apaurusha. So paurusha is man-made, purush, and apaurusha is not man-made. So it's not man-made. So that is Shruti. So that is 4 Vedas. They come under Shruti. So that is one part of our Vedic scriptures. The second part of Vedic scriptures is Smriti, the one which is remembered. So what do we remember? We remember our childhood, isn't it? We remember the past. So what is it? It is history. So Ramayana, Mahabharata, Puranas. So what are Puranas? Puranas are the stories of, so Puran, like the word itself says, old, very, very old, about beings which are not human being, like Bhagavad Puran. So it is about Krishna, who is not a human being, he is Lord, like that. So there are these 2 parts, and so this all arrangement and writing of everything was done by Vyasadeva. Yeah, so we celebrate this day Guru Purnima. Yeah, you might know this. So Guru Purnima is celebrated because this huge ocean of scriptures which has been given to us is been given by Vyasadeva, who is nobody but incarnation of Krishna himself, Lord himself. So he has given us the scriptures. So as gratitude towards him, we celebrate Guru Purnima because he is our Guru. Yeah? We also call it Vyasa Purnima, because Vyasa is to arrange, and he arranged all this knowledge, and then he passed it on to his disciples, who then went out spreading this knowledge. So Vyasadeva wrote something called Vedanta Sutra. So Sutra means what? Principle. So, if you don't want to read complete Bhagavad Gita, then you need some sutra. Give me a essence. Nobody has time, isn't it? Who would watch YouTube videos of 2 hours? You want shorts. You want reels. So unfortunately or fortunately, our attention span has gone less than a goldfish. Yeah, less than 16 seconds. So people can't hold you for more than 16 seconds. If you are boring, they lose you. And then they are in their own world like that, because the attention span has gone so down. So Vedanta Sutra, so it is sutras. They are the, the principles or the essence. So it is said that these 3 verses of Bhagavad Gita, verse 16, 17 and 18 of chapter 15, they are essence of Vedanta Sutra. So Krishna has said everything in this. Only if we follow this, we understand Bhagavad Gita. Yeah. So we'll look at one of the verse. What we'll do is I'll read the English translation for all the 3, so you understand what is there in the 3, and then we will discuss verse 17, which we are supposed to discuss today. Okay, so let me read 16 for you. So there are 2 classes of beings, the fallible and the infallible. In the material world, every living entity is fallible, and in the spiritual world, every living entity is infallible. Okay, so this is 16. So let us understand what this is. So in the, I don't know what this, shall I say, creation or cosmos, so 1/4 part is the material world. Yeah, so you see this, whatever you see, this is all matter, this is material. So this country, this continent, this earth, the planetary system, the galaxy, and so many more. So this is all material, and this is just 1/4 part. And 3/4 is the spiritual world. So you can imagine how much spiritual world is. Yeah. So what Krishna is saying over here is that in the material world, every living entity is fallible. Fallible is the one who can fall down. The fallible. Because we struggle with our senses and we struggle with our mind. That's why we are fallible. we are not stable, because things are always changing and we are affected by the material nature. Whatever is matter, it is always changing, degrading, isn't it? So that's why we are fallible. So, what is, if we understand the percentage wise, so this is like 25% of the entire creation. So 25% is material world, and the beings, we all, which means we all, the living entities in this 25% material world are fallible. And then there are other beings, so he is saying there are two classes. The other beings are infallible, or they don't fall down. So who are they? They are liberated beings. And where are they? They are in spiritual world. If we were liberated, we would have been there. We are here, it means we are not liberated. No, we have to learn something. We have to liberate ourselves. For that, we have to get that Bhagavad Gita from the shelf. So I'm just, digging that and really making you guys to open the... Maybe you can go and just read this one at home, chapter 15. So, in the spiritual world, every living entity is called infallible, or it does not fall down. So, how do we understand this? If we, even understand in the percentage wise, in a given classroom, if there is a class, how many naughty kids are there? 1 or 2, and maximum are good kids, isn't it? So, similarly, the naughty, we are the naughty ones, who have came here. That's why we are in 1/4 part, and the 75% are good children. So they are with Krishna in spiritual world, like that. And how do we understand the nature of falling down? If we see in chapter 13, Krishna talks about modes of material nature. So what are the modes of material nature? There are 3. The goodness, passion, and ignorance. And if we see, it's very easy to fall down, isn't it? To go to gym every single day, it's so difficult. It is so easy to not go, isn't it? It is so easy to snooze alarm, isn't it? It is so easy to be indisciplined. It is very difficult to be disciplined. So when you are disciplined, you are raising yourself into sattva guna. You are raising the bar. So to stay there as well, to go there itself is a struggle, and then stay there as well needs discipline. There needs a lot of discipline. So this is, and as soon as you don't stop doing any activity towards that, to stay in the sattva guna, you fall down. Naturally, you fall down. So the gunas always pull you down. So there is a natural flow where we are pulled down. It's very easy to, fall into procrastination, lethargy, laziness. You don't need to work hard for that. Easily things can happen, isn't it? Little bit you are lazy, one day your house will be in a mess, because that's the modes of this material world. And that's why we struggle. So, but to do something, we have to work towards it. We have to be disciplined, like that. So in that sense, we as living entities are fallible, because there are chances of us falling down. We have to work hard to keep ourselves over there. Yeah, like that. And because we struggle with our senses, we struggle with our mind, like that. And in infallible, Srila Prabhupada explains over here, those who are in oneness with the Supreme Lord, oneness with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, however, they are called infallible. Oneness does not mean that they have no individuality. Okay, so in spiritual world, when we say that they are infallible, Srila Prabhupada is explaining here that they are in oneness with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this is very tricky. We have to understand oneness does not mean that they all are one or they are merged with the Lord. That is not what is said over here. Oneness means oneness in understanding, oneness in agreeability. For example, if you are shopping, and while shopping you are a Gujarati, for example, and you are shopping, while shopping you hear somebody talking Gujarati. So as soon as that words come to your ears, what happens? You have a feeling of oneness, that, oh, we are one. But does that mean that you become one blob of mass? No. But there is a feel, on some platform you have connected with them. So there is oneness. So in that, so we maintain our individuality. We are individuals, but there is oneness. So in that sense, we understand oneness over here. So when we say that there is oneness in the spiritual world within the living entities who are liberated, what we are saying is that they are agreeable to the purpose of the creation. So what is the purpose of the creation? The purpose of the creation is to serve the Lord. It is to serve the Lord. Lord is Purusha, and our purpose is to serve the Lord. So there is always an opportunity. Whatever we do, we always take decisions. Every point we take a decision, isn't it? To go to temple or not. When we are in temple, should we sit in the class or go in Radharani's cafe? Or maybe sit outside and scroll on phone, isn't it? Or maybe sit in the class, listen to the class, or maybe have our own mind reeling somewhere else completely. So there is always a choice. There is always a decision to be made. But when we make that decision, there are two choices which always Krishna gives. Two choices. One is pleasing yourself or pleasing Krishna. It's very easy to please yourself because that is what we want, attention, and we want to enjoy. That naturally comes, and that's why we are here. That is the main reason we are here, because we are so full of ego, false ego, that we always want attention. And the other side is pleasing Krishna. So what will Krishna like? What would Krishna like to want us to do? He does not need us to do, but he might want us to do. For example, once I was hearing to Keshav Swami, and he gave this example where he was traveling through a train, and there was a mom and a child. And mom gave child some chocolate or something to eat, and then the child took it and started eating, and then the mom said, "Will you not say thank you?" So does mom need thank you from the child? No. But if he says thank you, it is good for him in future. So this is our relationship with Lord. When we offer bhoga to Lord, does Lord want to eat? I mean, he can eat us as well. He is Lord. But when we offer it to him, he loves it like that. When a father gets a chocolate for the son, and the son takes a piece out of it and gives it to father, does the father really need that chocolate? He can buy the whole chocolate shop. But when the child gives that little piece, then father is satisfied. So that is our relationship with Lord, where Lord loves when we reciprocate. No, Lord doesn't need us at all. He's like playing flute. Look at that. He's playing flute in spiritual world, enjoying over there with his, with his parshad. But we need him, and for our discipline, for our purity of heart, we have to do these activities in that way, like that. So, and these activities, when we have such a reciprocation for Lord, then we move to upper stages of the modes. Then we move out of ignorance and then move up, like that. Okay. So that was 16, and now we look at 17. Okay. Purport. The idea of this verse is very nicely expressed in Katha Upanishad and Svetashvara Upanishad. So this is very nice. You see that none of our scriptures are conflicting with each other. They are in sync with each other. They all say the same thing. The unfortunate thing is the level of understanding, or the time we put in. Isn't it? So for example, I have taken education in IT and computers. I have spent 4 years and then 2 years of masters to 6 years of education to understand that software thing. And then too I struggle. If I get somebody else's solution design, I have to rack my brain to understand that design, even if I have taken 6 years of professional education to understand that thing. So you can imagine we don't spend that much time, and some of us have their Bhagavad Gitas on the shelf. So we can... So if we are not putting in time, how are we going to understand? And then what happens is all our knowledge, especially those who come from Asian background, all our knowledge is from TV serials, B.R. Chopra, Ramayana, Mahabharata, isn't it? So because of that, we have so much of confusion in our head that when somebody says something, we just not ready to listen. But people are coming from the place of Shastra. And our knowledge is from TV serial that we don't understand. And we have to understand TV serials, social media, they do things for TRP. They might not want to put Shastra as it is. And even if they would try to, the most important thing about Shastra is that to understand the Shastra, one needs to have qualification. Isn't it? One needs to have qualification. One needs to have adhikar. And what is that adhikar? Adhikar comes when there is love. Isn't it? If I write a book about myself, will any one of you understand it better or my daughter understand it better? Naturally she would understand because she is my daughter. She knows about me, she knows who I am, and then she will read it with that glasses on, that she knows me as a person, and then she knows what I mean by certain words. So when we understand Krishna, the first basic principle is, do we understand him really? Who he is, what does he want for us? Or we try to understand कि अब मुझे पता चल गया. Now I know Gita. Now I have read Gita. So our trying to understand the scriptures is with capturing mentality, that I have now got it. So you can't capture Krishna, unfortunately. we can only love Krishna. So when we fall in love with him, that is when he reveals himself. The Shastra reveal themselves. So these personalities who might have created the TV serial or whatever, do they have that mood? Do they have that intention? Or the intention is to earn money? You would see that the same recipe you do, we cook over here in temple, the same recipe I do at home, it doesn't come out like that. It doesn't come out like that. Why? Because over here we do it with the mood of love, with the mood of selfless love. So that's very important. So prasad is not very opulent. It is simple. But that simple prasad, I want more. It feels like that because the taste is different. Why? Because the mood, it's all about the intentions. The whole game is of intentions, isn't it? Sometimes you would see that some person is saying some nice things to you, but you are not taking it in. You are not accepting it from your heart. Why? Because you are understanding the mood of that person. It's not coming from the place of good intentions, and then you don't want to, your heart is not accepting. But sometimes some people you would come across and they would just maybe say some nice things, and you would like, oh, that's nice, because maybe it has came from their heart. So when it comes from the place of purity, it reaches the same place in your heart. Heart talks to heart, like that. So when you listen to somebody, or when you are looking at TV serial or whatever, what is their intention? And then that becomes your, that is how you also perceive in your head, like that. So to understand Shastra and to, get to know that knowledge, Shri Shri Radha Gokulananda ki, Sita Ram Lakshmana Hanuman ki, Gaur Nitai ki. Yeah. So what we were saying is that to understand the Shastra, we also need to be qualified, isn't it? So if somebody says that I have read all the books of medical, I will do a surgery on you. You'll be like, boss, thank you. You would ask a qualification. Are you qualified? You would, just because they have read the books, you wouldn't, allow them to operate yourself like that. Okay. So let's go on next. 6:30. Okay. It is clearly stated that. It is clearly stated there that above the innumerable living entities, some of whom are conditioned and some of whom are liberated, there is a supreme personality who is Paramatma. Now this is the distinction. So in previous verse, what Krishna has said is that there are two classes of beings. And who are the two classes of beings? One are liberated and one are conditioned, which is one are in material world and one are in spiritual world. And now in this verse, he is saying, but he himself is different from them. Okay, so this again goes back to the example which I explained about listening the Gujarati, where we don't become one, we are just part. There is oneness in agreement. We are agreeable on some aspect, like that. So in this verse, what Krishna is saying is that living entity, so the liberated living entity is separate to him. So he is separate from this. So he is above these two these two living beings. So we said that two living entities, liberated and conditioned, and he is saying he's above them. What is the common conception which you will hear over internet or anything? That when you become liberated, you go and merge with the Lord. So that is not the case here. That is incorrect understanding. We don't go and merge with the Lord. We don't become Lord. We still hold our independent identity. They give example of this. They give an analogy of a river. So the river goes and meets with an ocean, and then everything is one. Even though river goes and meets with the ocean, but we are not the river. We are the fish in the river. So even if we go in the ocean, we still maintain our identity. Yeah, so even if we get liberated, we still maintain our identity, and when the liberation happens, we get something called a spiritual body. Yeah, so we don't exist in the material body, but we get spiritual body, because that is what goes over there. In spiritual world, you need spiritual body. In this earthly world, this is matter, so you need material body, the one which has matter. Yeah, like that. Okay. The Upanishadic verse runs as follows: Nityo Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam. The purport is that amongst all the living entities, both conditioned and liberated, there is one supreme living personality, the supreme personality of Godhead, who maintains them. So he is saying over here, I am the one who is maintaining these two. So the conditioned as well as the liberated ones, both of them are maintained by him. So we can imagine, we are a family of 3, 4, maybe maximum 5. But, especially mothers might understand that, when especially cooking time and different demands come, you are like, oh gosh, so much, You can imagine that Krishna is sitting within our heart as Paramatma, and he knows everything. So you can imagine what all is going on in everybody's mind. He knows it all. And forget about us. We are still in temple. We are in a good place. There are people at, I don't want to take the names as well, at such places. In their heart as well, Krishna is there. He is sitting as Paramatma. So he knows anything and everything. And still he is sustaining us. He is maintaining us. So you can imagine the kindness he has, isn't it? So we always want to run away. You see, we try, especially, if I observe myself, when I entered like a tube or a train or a bus, I just look for where I can sit alone. Where can I be by myself? Like, I don't want to sit with somebody. It is natural to us because we just want to enjoy by ourselves. That is natural tendency within us, that we just want peace of mind. We don't want anybody else. We just want to be by ourselves. That is, we don't want to network. We don't want to just go out there and talk to people. That doesn't come to us naturally. Some people might be very pious. It might come to them, but they might have their own battery as well, capacity, where they can only network to a limit and then they want to again withdraw. But you see, Lord is maintaining us eternally, because we are eternal beings. In chapter 2, Krishna says that we are eternal. Krishna says to Arjuna, you are eternal and I am also eternal. So it will never happen that we cease to exist. We will never cease to exist. We will always exist. So even if we are here or we are in spiritual world, we will always be there. So he is maintaining us and he will continue to maintain us. So you can imagine the kindness which he has, isn't it? Because we are not even reading Bhagavad Gita. We are not even reading his words. We are not even looking at him. Some people come in the temple, and sometimes I really get so annoyed, if I may say that. People are within themselves. They are taking selfies with the Lord. I'm like, hello? He is Lord. Like this is like, okay, I have to post it somewhere that I'm been to temple, or they are in their own world. They have not even touched. So what they see is just a marble piece over there, not a bean. Can you imagine if like I'm talking to somebody and that person is completely oblivious to what I'm saying, not even looking at me? How rude it is, isn't it? Once I was hearing that, like when you take your car for cleaning, and then you enter your car into that barriers where then they clean. So this person is cleaning the car. But it feels like when you're sitting inside, it feels like he is looking at you, but he's not looking at you. He's actually cleaning the car. It just like that. So Krishna is looking at you, but you are not looking at him. You are looking at yourself. How am I dressed today? Are my hairs okay? Is my sari nice? Isn't it? We are in our own world. Okay, has my child had their food? What will I go and cook today? Or shall I have prasad over here and go? You are in your own world. You're not even like, okay, you have came for darshan. Oh, is Krishna taking your darshan or you taking Krishna's darshan? So like, hello Krishna, I am here, take my darshan. Like that, isn't it? So we have to be conscious. When we enter this premise and we enter this room, we have to be conscious that we are entering a spiritual world. We are entering a place where the Lord is himself present, and he is so kind. He has came here as a Archa Vigraha form, so that we can remember him, so that we can spend time with him, so that we can remind ourselves of his activities. Otherwise, if you go outside, even if you talk about God and divinity, they'll say, "Bapre, kya hai?" Talk something else. If you talk about cricket or politics or news, they wouldn't mind. And you can also go on. But as soon as you talk about anything about God, they'll be like, anything wrong with this person? Or like people have gone to that extent. People have fallen to that extent. In India, I have grown up in India, so in every lane there is one small temple, at least a small temple. Every lane, wherever you take a turn, you will see a divinity. So that is the culture from where this, and why they have done this. Why is India structured in that way, that in every corner, wherever you put your eyes on, you will see some form of divinity? Why is it? Because we forget. It is natural to fall, because we are fallible. So because we forget. So we need to shake up. Somebody needs to shake us up. Somebody needs to wake us up. Otherwise we will be in our own dreamland, in our own world. Like the child which goes to park, they don't want to come back home. They are playing and playing, and the mom is saying, come on, come back home. We have to go home. But the child wants to play, and then they end up fighting with somebody or fall down and get hurt, and then the father is like, I told you, this is not your place. This is not your home. Home is there. We have to go back. And that's how Krishna is also trying to do the same thing. Krishna is tapping us. Krishna is, puts some problems in our life so that we somehow remember him. But we are so busy. We are busy growing up, going to school, studying, and then we are busy with our teenage tantrums. Then we are busy with finding a partner. Then we are busy with married life. Then we are busy settling. Then we are busy with children. Then we are busy with children growing up. Then busy with children's teenage tantrums. Then their marriage. Then their children. And then death. So when at the end Krishna comes, he comes as, what does he say? Kala. I am Kala. I am time. So when he comes as time, time ends. And we don't want to see Krishna in that mood. Do we want to see Krishna like that? We want to experience Krishna full of love. Krishna will come. He will definitely come. But before he comes as time, as Kala, to show us that this is it. Now come on, let's go to next body. Let's take up next dress. This dress is enough. You have not learned anything here. Now you have to take up new dress. So before he says that, are we ready? Can we look within and see that, okay, why is this happening to me? What do I have to learn? What do I have to learn from this life? Why have I even came here? Why is this person my spouse? Why are these children my children? It could be any other soul. So we all are souls on a journey, and we all come in each other's life for something. We have to learn something from each other. Your neighbors, your office colleagues, everybody, everything is planned and planted by Krishna so that you can come closer to him. That is the only intention. The only intention of the material arrangement is so that you somehow come closer to Krishna. So when you have that nasty neighbor, thank Krishna that, it is pulling you towards Krishna. When you have a loving friend, thank Krishna that they are pulling you towards Krishna. So anything and everything which Krishna has provided, everything is sanctioned by him. So anything goes wrong or anything goes right in your life, you just meditate on this one thought, that everything is sanctioned by Krishna. Everything is even a small blade of grass doesn't move without his permission. Everything is sanctioned. So even if anything good happens, Hare Krishna. If anything bad happens, take it as his plan. Take it as his plan and then roll with it and see and introspect that what do I have to learn from this? Humble yourself before life humbles you in a, like when you have a child, you can either talk to them nicely. I do that 3 times. And then 4th time you have to scold them, don't you? You have to either smack them as well sometimes. So, and then like I call my daughter by her name. 4th time when I'm like mad. Otherwise I call him like Sonu, Monu, like some loving name. And then when she knows that, oh, she has called me with my first full name, then she comes running down. Like now she is mad. Like now she has, changed her form like that. So before Krishna gives us, shows us that form which he will as Kala, because we all are going to die, isn't it? Is there anybody who is immortal here? Anybody has immortality certificate? No, we all are going to die. And we don't know when. We don't know when, isn't it? In Srimad Bhagavatam, Parikshit Maharaj came to know that he is going to die in 7 days. So at least he knew that he had 7 days, and then he utilized them to listen about Krishna. But we don't know whether it is 7 days, 7 hours, 7 minutes. Possibly while talking to you, I might just, like, oh, Mataji just went. You never know. Life is so fragile and so robust at the same time. So what we have to understand is that let's not make it too late. Like Krishna is saying, come, I'm coming, come, I'm coming. So when will we come? When we will change? He is like here. But if I have my back towards him, how am I going to see him? He is there in every moment of the day, in everything we do. He is there. But do we have chakshu to see him? Do we have that vision to see him? Are we able to experience him in our life? Are we allowing him to? And if you allow him, he will blow your mind. No, he will blow. You can, Srila Prabhupada gave this beautiful example which always stayed with me. There are some type of, maybe chimpanzees or some type of monkeys in Africa, and there are these trees. The fruit of the tree is as hard as a bullet, as hard as bullet. And these monkeys, they eat those fruits like peanuts. So you can imagine that everybody's food, he has taken care of everyone. He has taken care of each and every living being. So will he not take care of us? We are human beings. Will he not take care of us? He'll definitely. So we don't have to strive hard to meet ends. It's not required. Just chill. Just relax. Just calm down. There are so many. Even if you take attention or you don't take attention, what is going to happen is going to happen. Just enjoy that ride and see what we have to learn from that. How can I grow through this? How can, if my child is throwing a tantrum now, how can I grow through this? Can I just scold that child and that is quick, 1 minute, isn't it? When you scold a child and then they start crying and they are now quiet because they are fearful, that's done. But can I just go down to that level and talk to them and then they will be surprised, okay, this is different. What just happened? So are we able to change the situation? Every moment, whichever moments you see that this is a triggering moment in my life, are we able to take a decision in that moment that no, I will not respond like this now for this situation? And you will see it will transform you. The first 6 chapters really talk so much about this response which we give, where Arjun is now seeing all his relatives and he doesn't want to fight. And then Krishna says, no, you have to fight. You have to do your duty. So, and then there are modes of material nature where how can you do your duty? Isn't it? So, are we able to change our response? Are we able to see in that moment what is Krishna trying to teach me? Is there some lesson in that? And then how can I grow through this? And one thing you will see, you can meditate on this, that what is pattern in your life? You can meditate on this. There will be some pattern, some pattern. There will be some miser people. You will always find miser people in your life. Like, wherever you go, maybe your spouse or your boss, or maybe you will always find angry people in your life. There will be some pattern. And why is there this pattern? Because you have not learned your lesson. And that's why Krishna is repeating that lesson again. If your child doesn't know maths, what you will do? You put them for maths classes, isn't it? Because you want them to learn that lesson. So Krishna will also do the same thing. If we have not learned that lesson, he will repeat that lesson. He will send different people. You change your company, again you will get similar boss. New company as well. Because you have not learned the lesson. You stay there and try and learn the lesson. As soon as you transform, the situation will change. The person will change and the situation will change. You will be surprised that, oh my God, this is a good person. I just had something else, because Krishna now knows you have learned the lesson. So let us start learning the lessons, because whatever bank balance you might have, whatever house you might have, or number of clothes you might have, they all will stay here and they will become somebody else's when you are gone. Yeah, your property and your relatives as well. How much are they going to cry? Just practically think about it. Not more than 10, 20 days. Maybe if it's your very close, like spouse or child, maybe 1 month. And they might remember you on your birthday and your death anniversary. After that, don't think that when you are gone, everything will stand still. Nothing. Everything will go as it is. 50 years back, you were not there, and 50 years from now, you will not be there. But everything will go on. But take this time, take this opportunity, don't waste this time. Take this and see what is it? Why am I here in first place? Why am I just there? Why do I even exist? There must be something. Everything has a reason. Everything has some connection, isn't it? Then how can I'm just born without no reason? There is some reason why I'm born. There is something which I have to take. There is something which I have to transform. So what is it? What is that in it for me? And if you are not able to understand, cry in front of Krishna. Go and stand over there and cry, Krishna, why? Tell me why. And then he is so merciful. He will definitely reveal. And then you will have these revelations where you will understand, oh my God, there's so many things. A list of the things which I have to correct. If you start correcting, as I was saying previously, the bank balance and everything will stay here. But these corrections, they will go on to your next life. Yeah, they will go on. So this attitude which we develop to see through and not look at the situation as a victim, but look at the situation from a bird's eye view and see that, okay, in this situation, what do I have to do with this? What do I have to learn? If you look at it from that aspect, this mood of yours, it will go on in the next life, and Krishna will ensure that he will give you an opportunity to be in such a place where then you continue this journey. So this is the spiritual knowledge is such that it never goes to waste. You take it to your next life. Yeah, some of the children in temple on Sundays, you might see that they are natural. They are like natural devotee. I'm like, how come this love for Krishna Katha or this love for Kirtan is coming through? Hare Krishna. Krishna. But this love for Lord is natural because it is coming from past. It is coming from their past life. So these impressions, and even with your children, try and give these impressions to them so they understand that they are not using that situation and thinking that, oh, I am a victim. Oh, this has happened to me. No, what can I learn from this? And then grow from. So use each and every situation to grow. And that is what Krishna is trying to say over here, that I am always guiding you and I am always there. And as a Paramatma, he's sitting within us. As a Paramatma, he's guiding us. So we just have to listen to him, because there is so much of noise around. We can't forget about listen to Paramatma. We can't even listen to ourselves. Even if you want to have like a 1 moment silence in your own house, there is heater is going, boiler is making some noise. Something is going, some booze, something more, phone is vibrating. something is always going on. And these vibrations, they actually come in between us and Paramatma. Yeah, so we have to be take out some time, have some time for yourself, maybe 15 minutes. Go out for a walk, maybe in nature. Try to, if that is something which helps you to connect with divinity, try to go on a walk by yourself. Just be with yourself. Don't take phone. Don't put headsets on. Just be by yourself and confront yourself. I'll tell you, confronting yourself is the most dangerous thing. People are scared of themselves. They don't want to be alone. They always want some device. Where is the device? There's something. There's a what is it called? FOMO, fear of missing out. They are so scared of themselves that they just don't want to confront themselves. Don't put yourself in this situation, because we are connecting links between the past and the next generation. If we don't pass this wisdom to the next generation, or if we are the current generation, if we don't imbibe that, we are doing injustice to this Shastra and to this Vedic tradition. We are the ones who have to pass it on now. We have responsibility. We have to imbibe it ourselves. And then there are some parents who come and they are like, Mataji, I want to send my child for your Bhagavad Gita classes. Well, what about you? So we can't do that. We send our children, and what about us? So the transformation starts from within. These scriptures are not for my child or my husband or my neighbor. They are for me. They are for me. Because when you hear of some story, oh yes, that person is like that. That things, because we are always looking outward, judging people, discriminating. Discriminating is good for our protection, but not in spiritual world. In spiritual world, we have to see how can I learn more. Yeah, I think we can close now. The darshan will start in 5 minutes. We'll have an aarti. So before we close, are there any suggestions, questions? Yeah, the last sentence I'll read. That Supreme Personality of Godhead is situated in everyone's heart as Paramatma. A wise man who can understand him is eligible to attain perfect peace, not others. Srila Prabhupada is like so strict. Any questions? Any corrections? Suggestions? No? Okay. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. We'll have Aarti now at 7 o'clock. Hari Bol, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
What is that? Oh, okay.
Thank you for putting your stuff. I have to come over and then we can do things on there. You singing today? You play harmony.
또 이런 거. Hey, Haribo. Oh, yeah, good. Yeah, special. Yeah.
What's the special occasion today?
Huh?
Is it your birthday?
No, it's one of mother. She's left the body yesterday. She was funeral yesterday. Today is the program. Yeah, yeah. जय श्री राधा गोकुलनाथ के सीताराम लक्ष्मण हनुमान के शकोनिता शिला प्रभुपाद की नमो विष्णुपदाय विष्णुप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी इते नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी वक्रतादिस्ततारिणे प्रश्नता केव जय जय भोरा चंदे आरती कदबा जग मन लोबा सखी नैनिता हमें गद गद सके हो राजा हमें गद गद कहते आदेता श्रीदेव वास चत्रधर वशी आचे घोराच्या आता सिंहासन मासे आचे घोराच्या रत्ना सिंहासन आरती करे ना ब्रह्मा आदि देवगण नर